Welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about the moon card of the tarot. I've been slowly working my way through each and every card of the High Arcana. Today we're going to talk about the moon card. I do have a podcast episode that can help you out and give you more in-depth meanings on this card, how it presents to your clients. It's a little bit different than what I'm going to offer you here. On the YouTube channel, we look at the art of the cards because I love them. I love the art so much, and I have such a collection of decks that I really want to share with you. So today, I want to tell you straight off that most of the cards I've chosen are not traditional cards. These are independent decks or they're artisan decks. They have a theme and they're going to be different than what you would see on a very traditional deck. So let's dive in right away and have a look at some of these cards, okay? First, we have the Moon card from the Steampunk Tarot. Now, this is really neat because it is quite traditional in many elements. Most of the cards I'm going to show you will have traditional elements. So here we have a very photorealistic moon. We do have the little lobster or crayfish, the little crustacean guy who looks a lot like our Cancer symbol for astrology. And there are a lot of correlations between the energy of the moon card and the energy of Cancer. We've got two pillars. We see these all the time in the tarot. They usually stand for duality, polarity, yin, yang, positive, negative, masculine, feminine, and kind of that gateway. I like to think of that river as going beyond the veil. When I think of this moon card that's depicted in a very traditional way with the pillars and the water, I like to imagine that this is what would be behind the high priestess if we were to move the veil in that card. And yes, I have a whole episode on the High Priestess. Go check it out. The next card I want to look at is from, I really love this deck. I love the art in it. This is a real contemporary deck. We have the same idea, that big moon. You see the pillars there, but instead of traditional pillars, we have a birch tree and an ebony tree. So you have the positive and negative, the black and white, the yin and yang, but it's in the trees. So we're in a natural environment. A lot of cards will show two dogs, and I love how the artist of this card, Isabella Rothman, chose to have women in masks. That real shamanic idea of putting on the medicine and wearing the medicine and going deep into the shadows and discovering that wild aspect of yourself. We still have the river, we still have that crusty guy, the crustacean-y crab guy. So a lot of similar elements in this card. This is a great deck. It really takes the Rider-Waite-Smith symbology and updates it for our modern world. Beautiful deck to work with. The next one I want to show you is from a really neat deck. So this is a set that I've been working with and I use a lot to teach people. It's the As Above, So Below deck. And they have two parts. They have the As Above, which is based in traditional Wiccan themes and teachings, and the So Below, which takes those lessons and applies it to modern life. And this is the moon card in both of those decks. This one is called Samhain. See how it's pronounced there? If you can read backwards, that is pronounced Samhain. It is one of the high holy days for witches, Wiccans, New Age pagans, and all kind of spiritual walks of life. It is Halloween. It's the witch's new year. It's all about going within, taking stock, and there's a lot of ancestor worship. So she's traditionally celebrating. You can see that she has gifts and offerings under the moonlight for her ancestors. Deep magical day. What we see on the So Below, very, very cool, because we have all the elements that you'd see in a traditional deck. We have the moon, we have the wolf, we have the water, we have the lobstery guy, we have it all there. And you have that divine feminine energy, that watery energy, and that deep dive into ourselves, and even the reflection of what's going on. So let's talk just really quick about the meaning of this card. This card reflects the divine feminine. It reflects the idea of change graceful change, empowerment, all those watery things. I don't like the way a lot of our traditional books talk about it, the books that were written in the 1900s and the 1960s and the 1970s, because they talk about this energy being so unknowing and so mysterious. Well, all those books were written by men. It's not that mysterious. It's the cyclic nature of things. It's tuning into nature, tuning into flow, understanding our darkness and our light and the power of gentle transformation. That's your moon card. It connects you to your subconscious. It connects you to that watery element. I got two more decks to show you, and it's really neat because I'm also going to show you the sun card. In the tarot, we have the moon card, which is the 18th card, and the sun card, which is the 19th card. And they're representations of the divine goddess and the divine god, the masculine and feminine. And I just want to show you because some decks literally take it literally. We have the moon and the sun. They're definitely a pair. So in this deck, it's going to highlight more that ethereal moon state, the idea of the archetype of the divine feminine. This is the Deviant Moon Tarot. It has a lot of shadowy aspects to it. It has a lot of deep lessons. Some of the cards you would usually think are positive have a bit of a spin on it, and the moon is a bit spinny. I like that marionette, that Punch and Judy kind of energy, right? The other one that has a beautiful set, and I find this set so, so, so inspiring. This is from the Mary L. Tarot. In this deck, they're presented as a pair, like two ethereal celestial bodies. Look at that. I love how it looks like the moon is singing or calling or opening up, and the sun is like receiving and listening. I love the two birds, the vulture and the hawk that you can see. And I'm not sure if they're more beautiful this way or this way. Whether I like them in the idea of receiving from each other and transmitting to each other, or being two halves of a whole. And I like that idea too, because any of us who struggle with the divine masculine and understanding the divinity and the beauty and the blessings of that masculine energy, if we think of it as the other side of the divine feminine, not the completion, but the face on the same coin, it'll really help us to understand that better. And the same for if anyone struggles with the divine feminine. If you don't understand goddess energy, you can look at it through the lens of the divine masculine God energy. Okay, so there you go. A bunch of artwork, a little bit of meaning for you on this tarot episode. If you want a deeper dive, you can go to my website, jodiannepsychicmedium.com. I have show notes on every episode. This is a companion for my podcast, The Witching Half Hour or So, where we are going through the High Arcana, one card at a time, a deeper dive into how you can expand as a reader to serve your clients better, to better understand the tarot. I'm Jodi Anne. I've been reading tarot for, well, most of my life, and I am so glad you're here. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one? Okay, love. Talk to you soon.